Greetings, fellow Earthlings. Today's message is going to be a guided message from the ancestors to our current state in our life. And what I mean by that is where you are currently, right? The challenges that you're facing, everything that you're dealing with at this time. We're going to dive a bit into it and see what the ancestors are trying to tell us through our experiences. So I'm just cleansing with some Palo Santo. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I just wanted to mention before I start pulling cards, with my meditation, right, the messages that came through is everything you're currently experiencing in life is meant to guide you to the place you're destined to be at in your near future, right? So if you're facing challenges or if you're facing difficult situations, even when it comes to people that you really care about and the things that they are expressing to you and going through these ups and downs with everyone that you're surrounded with, right? These are key points for you to realize what you need to do in order to make your life better, right? To guide you more to being your true authentic self. Because a lot of the time we are, as humans, we are very comfortable in our comfort zone, right? And the message today is that we need to step out of that comfort zone in order to reach the places we are destined to reach. Because if we are comfortable with a certain path or a certain action or the certain thoughts that we think throughout the day or the emotions that we feel, it means that there is nothing new in that situation. And when it comes to trying to manifest new, more beautiful things into your life, we need to step outside of that comfort zone in order to make them possible, right? And the message I'm getting today is that everything that we're experiencing is a guideline to our transformation and where we're at in this transformation, right? Because today I had a very big realization about the path that I'm heading on, right? Trying to create my online presence and with my spiritual business and everything like that, right? A lot of these different aspects have been proven to be many difficulties for me on my path, right? And I'm speaking of this from my perspective because I want to bring out that real kind of energy, like I'm trying to express the reality of the situation, right? And I feel like many of us are actually dealing with exactly what I'm dealing with. And sorry, this is a bit of a hard one. For many years, right, I've thought about how I can improve myself. How can I make my dream life my reality, right? And everything I've been shown up to this point is to take action, right? Knowledge and wisdom is power. And if you gain that knowledge and wisdom to help you move forward in your path more accurately, it will give you the sense of confidence, right? The sense of authority over the obstacles that you are facing in your life. And it's all about you needing to take those practical steps in order to achieve these goals. And all of the struggles that I've been facing in my present time, right, I've realized that a lot of it has come from childhood wounds, right? The way that we've been programmed from the early ages of our lives, right? And going through the process of reprogramming oneself is definitely uncomfortable. It definitely takes a lot out of a person to be the one to actually change your reality into the reality that you desire. It's never an easy road to reprogram yourself, right? Especially when it comes to traumas that you've experienced that you have held onto with the victim mentality, right? And this victim mentality is the worst thing for us. Let me tell you, okay? So having this victim mentality will keep you stuck in those basic and comfort zones that we're so comfortable in living within because it is normal to us, right? We are comfortable with living with these toxic emotions or these toxic thoughts that keep popping up on us, instead of trying to reprogram those thoughts into something that brings about our abundance, right? Our success, our transformation, and all of those beautiful things that we have set goals for, right? So in this reading, I'm going to be diving in a bit more into that with my... let me tell you guys, I got rune cards the other day, and I'm so excited about using them in readings. So I'm going to pull one for the main energy of the reading, and then I'm going to use my original Rider-Waite tarot deck to do the rest of the reading. So I'm going to get one card of my rune cards to get the main energy, okay? So let's see. Show me the card I need to see. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, let me pop that over there. And the card that we have got is Perthro. The imagery on this card is very beautiful. I'm trying to get the light to not shine on it. There we go. So the meaning of this card is divination, casting of lots, or quest for self-knowledge, and fate. This is exactly what I was talking about in the guided message. It's all about your fate, right? It's all about you going through that quest for self-knowledge. It's all about you taking the action to actually change the way that you've been viewing life in order to have that successful life that we desire, right? So in this card, these three characters over there are giving me the feeling of past, present, and future, right? So what this is also telling me is that taking a step back and looking at the things that we have experienced in our past, what got us to where we are today, right? It is very important for us to stay humble and stay connected to those energies. But what I mean by stay connected to those energies, I don't mean keep making yourself feel those negative emotions like guilt or the negative effects of trauma or things like that, right? I'm talking about the positive points that have come from those experiences. Now, when we go through trauma, right, each set of trauma is there to represent a certain theory that we are meant to grasp through that lesson of trauma, right? Because a lot of us have been through trauma that was out of our control, right? That impacted our lives in a way that we could not move past it in a certain point. And in order to move past it, to move past that certain point in this trauma where we don't hold on to those emotions or we don't hold on to those negative things that have happened, is to use it to inspire you, right? Because we have this knowledge and wisdom of how we overcame those challenges, how we changed the way we perceived these challenges to be, and why they were coming up for us as such difficult challenges, right? So keeping that in mind, let's dive into the reading. Okay, let's see what the ancestors have to tell us. So the first card that has come up talks about equal give and take, right? It talks about generosity. And when we talk about generosity, it's not only receiving things out of someone else's generosity, right? It talks about you being generous and giving as well. So there are those 2 points of generosity that I'm being brought to, because in this path that we're currently on, there needs to be that fair give and take, right? Because, for example, if you're in a living situation where The people around you are supporting you with your dreams, with your with everything that you need that support with. But you are, it's like if you keep falling back into your depression or into the old ways of doing things, this opportunity might just be lost, right? This opportunity might be taken away from you because you're not putting in the effort to change the way that you think about it, right? To put more effort into this opportunity in order to make it more, right? To make it what you've been dreaming of. And with this generosity, I feel like it is talking about maintaining a sense of equal give and take, right? So the ancestors want us to be aware of how much we take and how much we give back. Then the next card that came out is the Nine of Wands. Okay, now this also links to the message that I gave before I started the reading, being the wounded warrior, right? We all go through these very difficult challenges in life, right? But the ancestors want us to keep in mind and to remember that we've overcome these challenges. We have made a way out of those difficult situations. And if we are currently facing a difficult situation, we are currently in the process of finding a way out of them, right? And the way that we find our way out of them is to inspire ourselves, right? To remind ourselves that we are warriors, right? We can handle anything that is thrown at us. We can succeed in a place where we would least expect to succeed once we start putting in that effort, right? The ancestors want to put this point out very, I want to say aggressively, because I feel like we're at that pivotal point in our journeys where it is essential for us to be doing and to be putting that effort in. So the ancestors want to remind us that we are still warriors, right? We still have the strength to overcome these challenges. We have the strength to reprogram ourselves from what we used to know into what we are trying to create for ourselves. And going back to this wounded warrior energy, right? It brings to mind the victim mentality, right? If we stay stuck in a victim mentality, we will not move forward, right? We will keep thinking that, oh no, the world is being so hard on me. Oh no, I'm struggling so much with this. All of those feelings of negativity that we keep reminding ourselves of throughout the day, right? That is what is being attracted to us because we keep thinking about it, right? This is how strong our thoughts are. Our emotions are also just as strong, right? So if we keep feeling like the world is getting the better of us, then that's what's going to be presented to us. So the ancestors are kind of, in a way, saying that we need to put our foot down with our victim mentality, right? We need to stop playing the victim role and work through these challenges instead of feeling hard done by these challenges. Because we do have the strength and power to overcome these challenges, right? It's all about the perspective that you have, right? If you think to yourself, okay, today I'm going to overcome any challenge that is faced at me, right? I'm going to grab the bull by the horns and ride it like a cowboy, right? Take control of that situation. Then it will be a lot easier for us to think of solutions to overcome these challenges. Like, where else do I need to put in energy or efforts in order to overcome these challenges? What can I do to better the situation, right? And the next card that came out is Wish Fulfillment. So now the Wish Fulfillment card is talking about you receiving that wish fulfillment, right? It's like whatever you've been working towards, your ancestors are definitely sending it to you. And I can't stress this enough, because of all the effort that you've put into this opportunity or these opportunities that you're faced with currently. because you have prayed for them for so long, right? Because you have started putting in all of the effort that is needed to nourish and nurture this opportunity into something better and something greater that will help you move forward in life. That wish fulfillment will be granted to us in very unexpected ways. Now, I say unexpected ways because when something is expected or something is expected, let me just leave it there, then it is not normal, right? I said that incorrectly. Let me rephrase. It is normal. It is known, right? And when something comes in where it is known or it is expected or it is what are the words? Please give me the words. Anyway, I'll get into it again. It'll come out. It'll come out. But anyway, when something is expected or known, then it is nothing new to you, right? And when something new comes into your life unexpectedly, it is like a blessing, right? Especially when it aligns very closely to your wishes, your desires, right? The wish fulfillment that you're trying to create in your own life. So, the ancestors are giving me so many messages, I can't even say them quick enough. So I'm just going to carry on. Please bear with me. Okay, this reading is a bit all over and I just need to get this message out. So thank you for being patient with me and listening to my video. The next card that came out is the Sun. Now, when it comes to the Sun card, it talks about our complete happiness, right? It talks about our complete bliss, being confident, being comfortable, being assertive, right? And this is where our ancestors are trying to get us in our current time. The ancestors want us to be very confident about what we do. The ancestors want us to be very inspired to learn more, right? Because earlier I mentioned that knowledge is power, right? And power brings in that success. So when you are very knowledgeable about everything that you're trying to do and trying to create, it will be a much easier guideline on how to get there, right? Because through these challenges and trials that we face in life, it is what brings us to where we need to be, right? And the ancestors want us to be aware that in our present time, they are concerned about our happiness, right? About our well-being and about where we are headed in our life. And this brings me to the next card. So the next card is the Queen of Swords. Now, when it comes to the Queen of Swords, it's all about putting up boundaries. It's all about being very stern, very strict, right? Not taking anyone's bullshit or your own bullshit for that matter, right? And I'm feeling like this whole reading has got to do with your inner self, right? Nobody around you. It's all about you, right? And the ancestors want you to know what you need to do in order to overcome these challenges, right? In order to create that life that you're destined for. And the only way by doing that is to step up, right? Take control of these situations, these opportunities, and everything that is happening around you that you can control. And I'm definitely seeing that in this Queen of Swords, that sword that she's holding is the sword of truth. And when it comes to your sense of truth, this is what motivates you, what inspires you. This is what is meant to be the driving force behind everything that you are trying to take action towards, right? Is your sense of truth. Because without your sense of truth, we don't have any direction in life, right? We don't have any awareness of what we need to actually do in order to reach that destiny that is for us. And by making yourself aware of what your sense of truth is very important. right? And if you don't know what your sense of truth is, I can help you find it in a personal reading. So find my information down in the description box, or go to my page and read my bio. My email will be in my bio. If you want a personal reading, please book one. I am very passionate about helping people find these things in their lives in order to reach their full potential. Okay, so to carry on with the reading, the next card here is the Page of Cups. Now, when the Page of Cups comes into a reading, it talks about experiencing brand new emotions, right? But also, it talks about reaching a state of childlike curiosity when it comes to your emotions. And what I mean by childlike curiosity when it comes to emotions is allowing yourself to feel that open-hearted, warm kind of emotion when you're faced with something, right? And oftentimes this is presented to us by new positive experiences, right? When we experience something that is very positive, we feel like, oh, this is so amazing, you know, we can actually resonate with those very positive emotions. But when it comes to the negative side of this card, I just feel like the ancestors want me to talk about that a little bit, is not allowing yourself to feel those feelings, because we are so caught up in reminding ourselves about all the negative emotions that we've experienced in our past. And we need to work on letting those go in order to re-find ourselves, right? In order to be able to tap into those brand new emotions that we haven't felt yet, because we have been holding on to the past emotions for so long that we don't realize we've been a victim to our own emotion, to our own thoughts, because we haven't taken the steps necessary in order to reprogram our mind or our emotional state. So I'm definitely feeling here that the ancestors are sending us these positive emotions. And I just heard that they are brand new emotions, right? I feel like the ancestors want to remind us that we're going to be feeling emotions that we've never felt before, right? Because we're going to have new experiences. And what all these new experiences are linked to our evolution in life, right? In our spiritual journey, or human journey, if you want to call it that as well. But the ancestors are saying that we need to be making those steps in order to reach these spaces where we feel these new emotions, right? And how to take these steps brings me to the next card. Okay, so the next card talks about introspection, because here we have the Hermit. Now, when it comes to the Hermit, it talks about doing introspection. It talks about diving deeper into oneself. And this again links to the rune that we pulled out in the beginning of the reading, which talks about the quest for self-knowledge, right? We are all on this quest to figure out what we need to know in order to improve our lives, in order to get to where our promised land is. And now the ancestors are saying that the answers are within yourself, right? You have the answers to every question that you're asking your ancestors. All it is you needing to dive deeper into yourself, listen to your intuition, and follow your own path, right? Stop holding on to all of the emotions that you experienced in your path that were negative from your past, right? And start focusing on how you can use those emotions to learn. How can you become better than everything that you've experienced, right? And one way that I've been able to overcome this challenge is, instead of looking at it as negative criticism from people, right? Think of it as constructive criticism. So if anyone comes up to you and says, oh, they don't like this about you, this, right? you can either brush it off like you didn't even hear it, or you can actually take note of what they're saying and why they're saying it, right? Now, I'm not talking about someone who is trying to make you feel bad about your appearance or about something that you do because they don't like it or something like that, right? What I'm talking about is your personal growth. If someone comes to you and says, okay, you take on too much emotional trauma because of how you view the situation, right? And that triggers something in you where, but I'm not a very emotional person, or whatever the case may be. There is a point to why they're mentioning this to you, right? Because when you get into a state of anxiety or depression or something like that, where it captivates your thoughts and your emotions for a long period of time and you're unable to snap out of it, this is where the clue is to actually find a way to get out of those emotions, right? Look at reality for what it is instead of what you desire it to be. Now, yes, I did mention in this reading that the reality that we desire will be ours, right? But currently in the process to getting to that reality is where we need to put our focus, right? Because everything is not the way it should be where things stand at the moment, right? And the only way to achieve those goals is to actually dive deeper into yourself, right? Find that knowledge and wisdom that you need in order to step out of your comfort zone and take action towards the things that you need to take action towards in order to create this life that you desire. Now, I just want to go back to this rune card here real quickly. I started mentioning past, present, and future with that rune card, right? With the 3 different people there. One way that we can also improve ourselves is to focus on the future, but not in a way where it captivates you completely and all you can think about is the future. No, what I mean is, where would you like to be in the future, right? And think to yourself, what can I do in order to get to that point? What effort can I put into my journey in order to reach that point where I mentioned where I want to be in the next few years, right? Or in the next few months, for that matter. And then take practical steps in order to achieve those things. And if they don't work the first time, right, keep putting that effort in, because if they don't work, it's all about learning, right? It's all about the knowledge and wisdom. So in order to further your journey at this time, the ancestors are saying, dive deeper into yourself. You have the knowledge and wisdom that you're seeking. And the knowledge and wisdom is what gives you the confidence, the strength, the power, right? In order to achieve those things. I just want to pull a Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle card just to close out this reading. Okay. So, ancestors, please show me one card to close out this reading. Show me one card that I need to see. That's too many. And nope, I'm not reading them all, so I'll take another shuffle to see what comes out. Okay. Oh, there we go. One flipped in the deck and one went there. So 2 cards is better than 20. So I will take the 2 cards. Okay. So the first card that came out is the throat chakra. Now, the frequency of the throat chakra, the blue flower of life, supports our self-expression and our sense of peace and balance. Now, what this card is talking about is, do you ask for help when you need it? Do you express yourself when... Let me rephrase that quickly. Give me the words I need to speak. If someone triggers you, do you let them know that that is a trigger for you? Or do you keep quiet and just accept that they're triggering you, right? Are you expressing your authentic feelings to people around you to get them to support you? Or are you not expressing yourself in the way that you need to get that help, if you get what I mean, right? But also, it mentions here our sense of peace and balance, right? We need to have that sense of self-expression through our art, through our music, through our creativity, through every aspect of ourselves. We have a certain way that we can express these things. And the point that the ancestors are wanting us to be aware of is that we need to have that expression, right? Do you actually express yourself through a passionate means? Or are you holding it all in and having that victim mentality where, oh, the world is so rough, the world is unbearable, or whatever the case may be, right? Because us as humans, we have come here to learn these different things. And the way that we learn things is through trial and error, right? Through the bad times and the good times, right? If everything was positive and possible and all of these very beautiful things, then we would never know the difficulties of life, right? And therefore we would not learn those deep meanings that we're needing to learn in order to have that value behind what we're trying to create. So it's very important that we take that time to express ourselves, whether it be through a creative hobby, through a YouTube channel, right? Or whether it comes through listening to music, or whatever the case may be. The ancestors are saying that you need to have that expression, okay? Then the last card that came out is emergence. So the frequency of emergence invites us to approach our reality with a more childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment, and to watch and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from that place. So again, this is linking back to where I mentioned this Page of Cups, where we need to bring that childlike curiosity back into our lives, right? The things that we are destined for will emerge when we are open-hearted, when we are open to those new opportunities or new experiences. And once we have opened ourselves up to those things, they will emerge in unexpected ways. Now, when we look at our reality with a childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment, right, we are creating an opportunity for beautiful things to happen, because we're opening that door to that innocence and wonderment, right? For those beautiful things to actually filter through and reach us. Because a lot of the things we're experiencing in life are because we're keeping those doors closed. And we need to be aware of the fact that we keep those doors closed. And we do it intentionally, unintentionally. I say intentionally, unintentionally, because our comfort zone restricts us so much. And because we intentionally stay in our comfort zone, that is what then unintentionally blocks those things for us, because we're not open-minded enough to actually receive those blessings and receive those positive experiences where we can evolve and receive the things that are destined for us. So, thank you for listening to my video. Stay tuned for more readings and blessings be to all of you. Peace, love, and light.